for the WBC and WBA cruiserweight titles, and it's a rematch of a fight that was high in consideration for the 2006 Fight of the Year, as the champion O'Neal Bell of Atlanta, Georgia, via Montego Bay in Jamaica, takes on Jean-Marc Mormec for the Unified World Championship, the former Unified World Champion. The fighters are in the ring for our very first fight. They got this fight started very, very quickly here. This is the European Union Continental Super Welterweight Championship featuring Christophe Canclaux against Jaume Pons. Pons is decked out in the red trunks with the black trim, and Canclaux comes to us in the white trunks with the white shoes. A very classy fighter here. Canclaux is from Montpellier in France. He comes in here with a record of 33-2 with 20 knockouts, and Jaume Pons comes to us with a record of 20-1 from Barcelona, Spain. All of his victories have been in Spain, so we don't know as much about Pons, who's decked out again in the red trunks. We don't know as much about him as we know about Christophe Canclaux. Again, they started this fight prematurely here, so we picked it up immediately before we had the proper introduction that we wanted for you. But you can see Canclaux, who comes in here at 33-3 with the 20 KOs, is a very good fighter as he starts to pound away on Pons. Very quick jab, wild with the left hand, and he lets go with the right hand as Canclaux. That's Canclaux. He's managed by Wilfred Sauerland. He's a world-class sort of fighter. He began his career in '98 with a TKO win over Jaime Larique here in France, and he's a very, very good fighter. The other kid, Pons, again, we don't know as much about. He doesn't have the same hand speed. You can see pretty good straight right hand, but Canclaux avoids it here in the early going of round one. By the way, I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan, and we welcome you to France as we get kind of up-started here at the very start of our show for you. Remember, our main event of the evening is for the WBC and WBA Cruiserweight Championships of the world, and they started this fight right on top of us. So we welcome our worldwide audience again, and we're in a place called Lavarois in France, just outside of Paris. As you see Canclaux going to work here in the very first round of this European Union Super Welterweight battle at 154 pounds. He's having a pretty good first round here. He's on an 8-fight win streak, 14 KOs inside of 3 rounds. So as you can see, this guy likes to start fast. He's the type of guy, as you can see, will take a shot to get one in, but Pons has nowhere near the heavy hands that Canclaux has. Pons is red around the eyes. He's puffy underneath the right eye already here, and that's because Canclaux loads up his shots. A little bit of puffiness around the left eye as well. So Pons is paying the price of exchanging with this kid from Montpellier in France. He's right on top of him, loading up shots here in the first round. Now he backs off a little bit. Look at how quick he is getting that left hand up there. And there's the bell to end the first round. Well, now we can get a quick breather for you. Don King has joined us here. And Don, while this is a worldwide telecast, and they jumped right on us at the start, I know there's people at the Madison Square Garden Network that you want to say hello to.
Yes, it is, and I'm very delighted to have an opportunity. American can thank James Dolan. James Dolan wanted this fight to be seen in America, along with his father and mother, Helen Dolan and Chuck Dolan. They wanted to give it to America, so they made certain that they got it so they could put it on there. And I want to thank them personally around the world for James Dolan, the genius that's running Madison Square Garden. The fight of last year was the fight of the year, and it was Mormec and O'Neal Bell at Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing. And now the return match, La Revanche, is here in France, in Lavenoir, with the Mayor Patrick Balkany, and it's just a fabulous opportunity to see this fight. So they wanted it to be seen in America, and I want to thank you, James Dolan, for your passion, your compassion, your understanding, and wanting America to be right in the mix of this great event.
And Don, as the fight continues here in the second round, I know that you were on the telephone to the office of the president of France, and he promised you that he would come to your next fight, but he couldn't make it tonight.
Yes, that's Chirac, Jacques Chirac, the president of the great country of France and the great people of France, and it's really just so wonderful. And Patrick Balkany, and when you say Balkany, you say France. This is a young man who has the mayor here, and it's just tremendous. What a great fight.
All right, this is going wild here in the second round. Christophe Canclaux from Montpellier in France has just loaded up a series of punches. This guy fought in January this year. He had a 12-round decision over James Colas. in Basel for the European 154-pound championship, and he has started a house of fire. This guy's got a big heart. He's aggressive, very busy, a little bit on the awkward side, but he is a crowd pleaser. As you can hear, the crowd is into it. Meanwhile, Jaume Pons has come here from Barcelona in Spain with a pretty fair country record of 20-1, is having all kinds of difficulties with this guy. All of his knockouts, by the way, Pons have come inside of 3 rounds as well, with 3 first-round knockouts. So we thank Don for dropping by, and we're glad that all the Madison Square Garden network and across the United States can be with us. And a little bit of confusion at the beginning of the show, but we're glad that you can be with us because we're not in control like we would be if it were in the United States. The French television has total control of it, so we're glad. So round number 2, a terrific round for Canclaux here. As he continues to work on this guy, he's huffing and puffing a bit. But he's getting the jab through now, and he loads up the right hand. Tell you one thing, Pons is a tough kid. Oh, straight right hand. Another power shot. You see what I mean? He'll take a shot to get one in. Loads up the right hand again with that overhand right, does Canclaux. Canclaux, the guy facing you in the white trunks. What a start for this first fight. First off, they start the fight before we hardly get on the air, but again, we don't have control of that. Mickey Van is the 3rd man in the ring, and I should bring you up to date on the rules here. It's a 10-point must-scoring system. No standing 8 count. No 3 knockdown rule. In other words, it's the unified rules of boxing. Fighter cannot be saved at the bell in any round, and only the referee can stop the fight. This fight is sanctioned by the European Union and the French Federation of Boxing. Wild with the right hand, that time goes Canclaux. And the bell ends round number 2. Another good round for Canclaux. On my score sheet, he's won the first 2 rounds. And now we catch up with the tail of the tape for you, and it'll tell us a few things. Canclaux, a little bit shorter, is a little bit heavier. He's 3 years younger, and he's got a couple of inches of a shorter reach than has Pons. So a lot of things in favor of Pons. But so far in the fight, his skills aren't quite up to the level of what I'm seeing with Christophe Canclaux. We'll take a look at Canclaux, crushing left hand, and the right hand behind it just grazes the chin, doesn't quite catch it. And then back with another shot here. You see the left hand, digging body shots. I mean, this guy is wild, but he's 33-2 with 20 KOs. All of the reports here in France dictated that Canclaux is a world-class fighter. I think that he's a very good fighter from what I've seen so far. He's a little wild and wide with his punches, I think, to be really world-class, but he's a guy that can certainly fight for a title in the 154-pound division, and you never know what might happen when you get in there. Meanwhile, Jaume Pons has settled down here as we start round number 3. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan, and glad that you can be with us. We're at the Palace des Sports in Marcel Soudan in La Lavoie in France, which is just outside of Paris. So again here in round 3, and this is scheduled for 12 rounds in the super welterweight division. That's 154-pound division for the European Union super welterweight title. The face of Jaume Pons is really busted up here in the early going, and Canclaux continues to land some clean blows. You see Pons going downstairs, but a lot of the stuff upstairs is taken on the gloves. This guy Canclaux is not afraid to take the shot as he did that time to get one in. He ducks underneath the outstretched right hand that time of Pons, and he gets away with it. Nice movement that time, gets the jab, and he technically throws the jab right. But Pons pays the price when he comes in, because he comes in and he lingers on the inside instead of coming in and getting out of there. Now he gets back out, but watch the way he comes in and he'll linger in there, and Canclaux will counter him. See the time remaining in round number 3 here. Glad that you can be with us for this world telecast. Our main event, of course, is for the WBC and WBA Cruiserweight Championship of the World. O'Neal Bell against Jean-Marc Mormec. And you heard Don King say what a tremendous fight the first one was. And if you saw it, you know. Again, it was certainly a candidate, if not the fight of the year. in the 7th round of that fight. Oh, crashing right hand by Canclaux. And Pons able to gobble it up and stay on his feet. Another right hand nails him. Nice left uppercut on the inside. Canclaux really goes to work now. Getting a little wide with his punches, but this guy can land with some power. He's got 20 knockouts in his 33 victories. Began his career in '98, then he reeled off 24 straight wins with 14 knockouts inside of 3 rounds. Presently, he's on an 8-fight win streak since his last loss to Alex Sipos in Germany in July of '05. He is the reigning junior middleweight champion of the European Union at 154 pounds. I give Pons a lot of credit. He's a tough kid from Spain. He's hanging right in there with him. He's taken a lot of punishment through most of 2 rounds and well here into the 3rd round. Pons trying to work on the inside. He takes a crushing right hand to the left side of his skull, spins his head, but he hasn't been staggered yet, and he's taken some heavy shots. His face is beginning to really puff up. He looks like he's been hit with a kind of a meat tenderizer. The way he's not cut yet, but he's puffing up badly right now. We're only in round number 3. And you see the way this guy hangs in there? Canclaux is well able to protect himself as the bell ends round number 3. That was a pretty good round for Pons. We welcome all our fans watching around the world, and a special recognition for everyone in the United States and the Madison Square Garden Network. We also want to say hello to everybody watching on the American Forces Radio and TV Network, and Don King wanted me to give a special hello to our troops in Iraq and its commanding officer, General David Petraeus. Don is really thrilled that we're able to provide these fights on the American Forces Radio and TV Network. So we're set to go with round number 4. This is scheduled for 12. At stake, the European Union 154-pound championship. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan. We're here in suburban Paris, France, at a place called La Valois at Marcel Cerdan Stadium, named for the great former middleweight champion. And right away, Canclaux in the white trunks goes to work to the head of Jaume Pons. Pons is hung tough in there, the brilliant, tough kid from Barcelona in Spain, 20-1, only 7 knockouts, and so Canclaux well able to take the shots that he's throwing. Canclaux, on the other hand, has 20 knockouts in his 33 victories, and he's expressed and shown power in the early going. It's all going to come down to conditioning because the Spanish guy doesn't want to give in. He's a very, very tough kid in the red trunks to the left of your screen. Wow, with that uppercut. He really cut loose with that uppercut, trying to get the jab out there. And now he's jabbing while backing off, and that's not the best way to throw the jab. He's much better the way he was throwing the jab in the first couple of rounds when he was really, driving off the back foot and getting into his jab and setting it up better. Now he's doing that again, and you'll find that his jab will have much more sting when he throws it technically right. But this guy's a showman, and he's very much a crowd pleaser here in La Valois. Pons just keeps kind of tracking him down, and he comes in right in front of him. He doesn't get angles, and you see what happens when you don't come in at angles. You get blasted, and that's exactly what Canclaux is doing. So Canclaux backs off, gives him a little distance. Pons tries to close the gap, and the jab is right there for Canclaux. So Canclaux will throw it backing up, but see, now he drives forward, and now he gets power into his shots. Loading up shots, really loading up shots. He exposes himself, but he's not afraid to take shots like this because he doesn't think that Pons can hurt him with his best punches. So he's willing to take shots to get him in. Mickey Van has to separate the two for one of the few times during the course of this fight. These guys have come to fight. Canclaux has really let go with a lot of energy here in the first 3 rounds and well into the 4th round now of the fight. So he takes a little bit of breather. It looks like there might be some sort of an abrasion or a cut by the right eye of Canclaux. But since we're in the 4th round, there is a slight cut. I can't tell how bad it is. It looks like it's either to the side but it's going to be academic because this fight is going to go beyond the 4th round. So it would go to the scorecards in any event. And of course, if you cut, and nobody's indicated that the heads came together, if you cut by a punch and it's ended, it's a technical knockout victory. So that's academic because I didn't see the heads come together at all, and there's no indication. But there is a slight cut by the right eye of Canclaux. We'll see how good his corner is in between rounds. Canclaux winning this round. He's landed heavier blows. Another good round for Canclaux. but again, cut by that right eye. Short time ago, O'Neill Bell, the reigning champ, making his way into the Marcel Cerdan Arena. O'Neill Bell has got himself in terrific shape. He trained up in Big Bear. Big, tall guy, 6 feet tall. Weighed in slightly heavier than Jean-Marc Mormec for this fight. First title defense of the WBC and WBA. You know, when he won the title, he had the IBF title to go along with that, but he couldn't defend against the #1 ranked contender in favor of having the rematch with Jean-Marc Mormec, which certainly figures to be a sensational fight. The arrival of O'Neill Bell. That's just a short time ago here as he comes into the Sports Palais de Marcel Cerdan. All right, here we go. This is round number 5. Again, it's scheduled for 12. In the white trunks is Christophe Canclaux. And he's taking on Jaume Pons, a very tough kid from Spain. I've given Canclaux rounds 1, 2, and 4. He may have won round 3 as well, but I gave a break to Pons on my score sheet. Just standing right in front of each other and clubbing it out. Look at this, the uppercuts. Now Pons tries to hold him off here in round number 5 in Lavoie. They seem to have done a pretty good job and no distraction for Canclaux. They get a lot of extra grease over that right eye, but I can't see the blood coming down too bad right now. Digging shot a little bit south of the border. The referee, Mickey Van, didn't say anything, so probably as he was sliding behind the fight, he didn't quite see it. But he caught him with a pretty good shot. But the eye now is a bit of a problem, the right eye of Canclaux. If he's ahead on the scorecards, it doesn't make any difference if the fight is stopped by the cut, because that would be a technical knockout victory for Pons if it has to be stopped because of that cut, because of the fact that there was no headbutt involved. And we want to make that absolutely clear. And you see Pons trying to keep the pressure here in round 5. Pons in red, Canclaux, the reigning European Union champ in white. And he's slowed down considerably here in the 5th round. His mouth is open, which would indicate to me that he is a little bit gassed right now. And Pons is no slowing him down at all. This guy is super tough. What he might lack in ability in comparison to Canclaux, he certainly makes up in grit. Diggy body shots, he catches him with that. And pretty good left hook by Pons that time. So Canclaux, who's willing to take shots, might be taking too many and putting out so much effort here in the early going that he's a bit gassed. Now he gets the jab going again. But again, I don't like him when he throws a jab backing up. It doesn't have the sting that he has when he's coming forward off that back foot. Now he's throwing it technically right again. You see it lands and it bounces the head of Pons. Great shot by director Frank Belmont getting that for us to show what I was talking about with those feet. Jabbing away is Jaume Pons. See, the kid hangs tough, but he took a vicious left hook that time and snapped his head. And a big left hook at the bell to end the 5th round. Boy, Pons was hanging in there pretty good, and Canclaux might have pulled it out. That's a tough round to score. All right, here we go. Round number 6, as we showed you the many international commentators that are on hand for this World Championship night of boxing here from Lavoie in France. Loading up shots again in the white trunks is Christophe Canclaux, 33-2, 20 KOs, Montpellier in France. An interesting story in Canclaux. He got himself in a little legal trouble 3 or 4 years ago. He moved on to a new area in France. He's got himself settled down, signed up with the Sauerland people, and he straightened his life out, and he's a very, very nice kid. We had the opportunity to meet him, although he doesn't speak much English. I get the idea that he's a very nice kid. He's certainly a nice fighter. But he's got his life straightened out, and he's totally focusing on boxing. So when we see a kid that got in a little legal trouble and he changes his life around, we support him all the way, and that's what this youngster has done. Little problem with the tape on the glove. Mickey Van spots it and sends him to his corner. And as a matter of fact, he sends Jaume Pons over to his corner as they tape up his glove at the same time. The old Angelo Dundee trick, when you have a fighter that's fatigued, you pull the tape up, put some Vaseline under it, and hope the referee spots it to give him a break about halfway through. And I got an idea that that's what they might have done. A lot of tricks if you've been around boxing a long time. Now look at this. See, Canclaux, it worked because he's got a second win as he loads up shots in between. Pons taps him on the chin, but he takes it, bangs him with the right hand on the left side of the skull. Not bad. Pons hanging right in there, taking the vicious shots that Canclaux is unloading. This guy's heavy-handed, snaps his head back with a good uppercut with that one. Now Pons is just able to gobble his stuff up. He's taking a lot of punishment. This kid is tough. Look at this digging body shot back upstairs to the head. Pons stands right in front of him. That isn't where you want to be when you're taking the kind of punishment. But you know something? You know, his face was beat up in the set. Look at this, 3, 4 punches, a 5th punch, and Pons stands in there. Doesn't even buckle his legs. How tough, how conditioned is this athlete? This is when I love boxing, when you see guys that are really finely conditioned. This is for European Union, and over here, and a lot of you people watching in various places around the world, this is an important title. In America, it doesn't mean as much, but it's big over here. This place is sold out, and they want their man Canclaux to finish off Pons. Pons is from an adjoining country in Spain, and there's a few Spanish people here, too, that want to see him win this title. Well, this is exciting stuff if you're here in Lavoie. And Canclaux having his way with this guy right now. For the first time, I saw the knees buckle just a bit. And it's about time, says Canclaux, because he has been rocketing this guy with shots, and this is the 6th round of the fight. Pons, as tough as he is, hasn't got the idea that he's got to get away, and when he closes that gap, he comes to what I call the kill zone. You better be throwing, and he's not always throwing. And then he got lazy with the left hand, and look at the counter punching. 3, 4, 5 punches, and every one of them snapping the head. The legs getting very heavy in the thighs and heavy in the heels as the bell ends round 6 for Jaume Pons. And he's glad that round's over, believe me. That's a very definitive. A lot of judges might score that 10-8. Well, without the knockdown, most professional judges will stick with 10-9. There's Mickey Van, our referee for this fight. Mickey, of course, a famous referee from England, been around a long time, veteran of many European Boxing Union Championship fights and many, many world title fights, and a very good referee in his own right. And as you take a look at Canclaux, I mean, what a job he does. Look at these shots. But remember what I said about Pons. What kind of condition does this guy have to be in to take shots like this? He says some heavy blows. Man, this is tough stuff. What makes them do it? Prize fighters are a special breed. God bless them, I love them. Of course, remember, some of the shots that you're seeing here on this world feed are controlled by French television, so occasionally you'll see shots like that where they're interviewing French celebrities, and we'll just have you realize what the situation is, and we'll sort of ignore them. But I just want you to know what's going on. That as you saw at the very top of the show, we're not in total control here, and we're providing this world feed for you, and we're certainly glad that you can see this, because this is a terrific fight, in spite of the fact they started about 5 minutes early. But we're into it now as we're in the 7th round. And now look at this, Jaume Pons trying to stage a comeback here after getting pummeled in the last round. I've got him behind 59-55 to Canclaux in the white trunks. Canclaux at different times has looked like he's gassed, and then he fights in spurts. And he's taking a little bit of a breather right now. But if in fact his corner was smart enough to pull that tape up, certainly when he came back, he was a house of fire. And in round 7, he's landing some blows. But how about Pons, the way he hangs in there? This is a very well-conditioned athlete, because he's taking some hellacious blows. And there's 2 right to the side of the head again in the temporal area. A couple of stiff jabs by Canclaux. See, Pons continues to make the mistake of coming in, and he paid dearly that time. He walked in without throwing a punch, and he got nailed with a counter right hand, a heavy right hand. as the jab. You see, Canclaux has got the idea. He's a better, technical fighter because he'll jab. Even though I criticize his punches for being a little wide, he's a much better technical fighter in a lot of ways. And that when he comes in, he's jabbing. And when Pons attacks him, he backs off. Sometimes, see, he uses the angle. He doesn't come straight back every time. So he's a pretty well-trained fighter. There he takes a couple of shots, but that's by design. He wasn't going to give. He planted his feet, and he goes back to war with this guy. Pons has taken a lot of punishments. He hasn't been down, but he looked like his thighs were very heavy and his heels were heavy in the last round, a little bit loose on the knees. And there he says, come on, let's go. How about the grit of this kid? So Canclaux says, okay, you want to go? He says, okay, now let's go. So can you imagine the kid getting beat up and he wants to mix it up more with this guy? The courage of these prize fighters never ceases to amaze me. Guy getting the daylights beat out of him, really, and he's just such a tough kid that he says, man, let's go. And he continues to come forward, and he continues to make the mistake of not throwing enough coming in, and he pays dearly. He caught Canclaux, though, with a shot on the inside that time. Canclaux in the white trunks, facing you. See, he's really pot-shotting this guy right now. The reason, of course, I mentioned that Pons doesn't throw when he's coming in. Notice the lack of head movement, too. Notice the lack of bobbing up and down. He gives a little bit movement there, but Canclaux has got radar on his fingers as he nails him with good shots. And now Canclaux dictates, comes right back to the center of the ring, won't give the guy the chance, and the bell ends the 7th. Take a look at this replay, and it's just more of Canclaux having a field day with this guy. Thundering right hand. Combination of punches. And how about this kid? He's some kind of tough. Boom! A crashing right hand to the left side. Man, he is tough, and is he taking some blows? I've got it unofficially in my score sheet. Canclaux winning every single round with the possibility of an exception of the 3rd round. All right, here we go. This is round number 8 from Lavoie in France. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan. You're watching King Vision around the world. Glad wherever you're watching that you can be with us. And everybody in New York celebrating St. Patrick's Day and watching at Madison Square Garden Network, we certainly welcome you and hope that you are clear-eyed enough to enjoy this great fight on a St. Patrick's Day for all the Irish. Round number 8, where the French and the Spanish are doing battle here in World War III. These guys are really going at it. Canclaux winning most of the rounds, but by golly, Pons is making it one of the most entertaining lopsided fights you could see. Mickey Vance says to both fighters, keep the hands up, guys. This is too nice a fight. We don't want any low blows here. Jaime Pons from Barcelona, Spain, 20-1, 7 knockouts, 1 no contest on his record, 2, by the way. I mentioned that this guy had a history of starting fast, but here we are in the 8th round in this scheduled 12-round affair for the European Union super welterweight, or 154-pound. Some call it the junior middleweight, but it's the 154-pound class. Pace slowed down for the first time in the fight, but just while Canclaux catches his breath, and while Canclaux tries to catch his breath, Pons doesn't want to let up on him. This kid keeps coming forward. And Canclaux's got to be saying to himself, hey, what do I have to do to dump this guy? This guy is tough. And see, Pons is actually trying to force the action right now. But again, Pons continues to make the mistake of lingering in that kill zone when they're close. He lingers in there without doing anything, and he pays dearly. Look at this time, Canclaux comes in like a bull. Look at this, Pons blasts him downstairs. Now his Pons trying to turn it around. Blasts him with a right hand and snaps ahead of Canclaux. And in spite of the fact he's a little bit fatigued here in the 8th round and needs to get a second win, I can't say enough about Pons, the way he continues to come on here. And then remember, this is a guy that I may have only given 1 round to in the fight, and he's winning the 8th round. He was winning it up. That combination clipped him anyway. Things have evened up in a hurry with 2 very heavy blows. Oh, look at that shot. And Canclaux, with 43 seconds left in the round, about to steal this round. Another guy won 2 minutes of the round, and then all of a sudden Canclaux decides to turn it up a bit. But he's maybe just taking this round off a little bit in his terms. But again, Pons continues to force the fight. Look at these digging shots again by Canclaux. Canclaux, he tries to get his angles, and he comes in. Notice when he comes in, he's throwing the jab. So it makes it more difficult for Pons to counter him. Closing seconds now, the 8th round, and probably the best round for Pons. If the judges are seeing it the way I'm seeing it, I've given 2 rounds to Pons, the 3rd, which was very questionable, as was the 8th, as a matter of fact. So I've got it 78-74. It's possible it's a shutout in favor of Canclaux, but I don't see it being any closer than 78-74 if the judges are astute and actually did give him the 3rd round. 3rd and 8, very close. All right, here we go with round number 9 from Lavoie, suburban Paris, France. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan. You're watching King Vision Worldwide. Our principals in there for the European Union Championship. Christophe Canclaux, decked out in the white trunks. Canclaux in the white trunks, Pons in the red trunks. You've been with us throughout the course of this fight. Of course, you know that Canclaux has had pretty much a field day, but Pons had a pretty good 8th round. Canclaux has landed some vicious shots as he just landed him with a left hook, right hand. That one hurt him. That one buckled the knees. Let's see if he can finish him. Nailed him with a big right hand. He's ready to go. What's holding this kid up? All over him. Problem is, if he doesn't answer, Mickey Van can stop this fight. But no, Mickey lets it go because this guy has shown his strength throughout the course. He did everything but go down. What strength, what courage, what determination of Jaume Pons, who's far behind in the fight. You know, here's an example, you know, they're going to have open scoring in the championship fight. Here's a perfect example. If the judges have it the way I do, and he's losing this round considerably, his corner could just say that's the end of the fight, and it would be anticlimactic. That's what I don't like about the open scoring. On the other hand, the WBC in its infinite wisdom wants everything they think it'd be, you know, let the crowd know, let everybody know what's going on. I think it's an experiment that's going to last for a while, but not too long. They want to do what's best under President Jose Sulaiman, and I give him credit for trying. But this is a perfect example of a fight that's good action for the crowd, great action for us, that if his corner was announced at the end of the 8th round, they might have stopped the fight and just said, no, there's no sense, he can't win. And he's taken so much punishment. This is another example of what could be a 10-8 round without a knockdown, because this guy is certainly more than a 10-9 round. And the judges don't like to give 10-8 rounds unless there's a knockdown. But here's a case where the guy's knees really buckled at Pons, but man, his courage and strength and conditioning brought him off the ropes, and he's hanging in there. Look at this. Look at the 3-punch combination again by Canclaux. And look at this kid Pons. He just keeps coming back. With all the mistakes he made, you talk about true grit, this kid's got it. Talk about the tough Latino fighters. This is one tough Spanish fighter from Barcelona. And he's right back trying to throw blows. He's got his legs back. I mean, here's a guy that was out on his feet. There's a big uppercut that snapped his head back. And now Canclaux in his mind has said, what in the name of the good Lord above do I have to do to jump this guy? I've done everything I can do except drop him. Hey, you don't forget, Canclaux's a heavy puncher. He's got 20 knockouts in 33 fights. But he can't dump this tough Spanish kid. Continues to plod forward. Well, the bell ends the 9th round in another very big round for Canclaux. If it's not a 10-8 round, it's certainly a 10-9 round without question. So after 9 rounds, I've got it 88-83 in favor of Canclaux. But what an entertaining fight based on this guy's courage.
Te ha tirado todas las mejores manos que te puede tirar.
Aguanta. Mira,
tú no has tirado tus mejores manos.
No, para nada. Si tú le tiras las manos buenas, lo vas a tumbar. Porque el tío ese tiene un minuto o menos de un minuto que sale como una bala. El resto ya es a capear el temporal y punto. Hay que meter las manos con más rabia, hombre, joder.
Le meten la mano que tú tienes, que la has sacado muchas veces.
Pero mete la coño, mete la
one tough kid. Coming up to round 10. All right, here we go with round number 10 from Lavoie, France. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan. You're watching King Vision. This is a very entertaining fight. It's lopsided on my score sheet, but entertaining to say the least. For the European Union Super Welterweight Championship at 154 pounds. Jaume Pons, filled with courage, filled with grit, great condition athlete, taking on Canclaux, who has really beat him to a pulp. He hasn't been able to cut him. And as a matter of fact, back in the 4th round, there was a cut by the right eye of Canclaux, and his corner's done a great job. Look at these shots as he goes back on his heels. Canclaux trying to finish him off. Digging body shot. Look at Pons battle back. Now he taunts him. I wouldn't taunt this guy. I'd throw punches. Look at them, man. Look at them gesturing to each other. Yeah, let's make it a street fight. That's the look on the face of Pons, and now he's got Canclaux backed off. Now he pushes him back with his shoulders. Canclaux says, "You're not pushing me," and he drives him off the ropes. This is terrific stuff. What a fight. If these guys had big names and this was in Las Vegas, people would be going absolutely bonkers for this fight. This is great stuff. I mean, again, don't forget the lopsided score sheet, but well, you talk about an entertaining fight. Man, oh man. Pons is something else. The shots that he's taken, and this guy has not been able to drop him. And then after he gets hit with all those shots, he taunts the guy. Canclaux comes right back and taunts him. 10th round action. Remember, this is scheduled for 12. It's a European Union Championship fight. The guy's bleeding heavily from the mouth. He took another big right-hand shot, the uppercut. And again, Mickey Van, it's a matter of time before he has to stop this, because this guy's taking a lot of head blows. Another very tough left hook, trying to finish him off here. You know, Van wants to stop the fight, but he can't because the guy keeps battling back. He doesn't want to see him take all these head blows, but he can't really stop the fight when he's battling. Then he lands a right hand. Man! Oh! What a fight, back and forth in this 10th round. You'd think that Pons is getting pummeled to oblivion, and a couple of times I'm calling for Van to stop the fight, and Mickey can't stop the fight because the guy comes off the ropes and comes right back against Canclaux. Can you imagine if this were two big-name guys and they're fighting in Las Vegas or Madison Square Garden or wherever? The crowd would be going insane. This is a very, very entertaining fight. Of course, you're watching it. You don't need me to tell you that. But this is terrific stuff. This is professional boxing when it's at its best. And this is a lopsided fight, but it's still great stuff. Mickey Van says, keep the punches up there, Canclaux. You're doing enough damage to him with legal punches. You don't need him with low blows. Canclaux's a little gassed right now with 13, 12, 10 seconds to go here. But he's gassed because he's thrown so many punches. Closing seconds of the 10th. Jean-Marc Mormec, 32-3, 23 KOs. He's the former undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, former two-time world champion, Jean-Marc Mormec. He's got a new trainer in Richie Giacchetti, and you take a look at the washboard stomach, you know that Richie Giacchetti of Larry Holmes fame, one of the great trainers from Cleveland, Ohio, has done a great job getting this guy in shape, and a guy that's had a jagged history of being in shape or not. Back to the replay here and watch this guy, Canclaux, go to work on Jaume Pons. Man, this is just tough stuff. Different angle. Look at the flush right hand. Left hook snaps the head. Great shots by director Frank Belmont. And look at the kid battle back as he nails Canclaux with a couple of shots. Wow.
11e reprise.
All right, here we go with round number 11. Remember, this is scheduled for 12. Referee trying to get the corner guys out. I've got it 98-92 in favor of Canclaux, winning almost every round. But I'll tell you this, Pons, and for you folks watching around the world, you don't really need me to tell you this. This has been some kind of entertaining fight. You almost have to pull for Pons because he's so courageous, but he's taken an awful pummeling. On a couple of occasions, I thought Van was looking to move in and stop the fight so this guy doesn't take too many more head blows. But again, you can't stop the fight when the kid's battling the way he is. A little bit gassed right now is Pons. He still does the same thing that he's always done. He's right in front. This guy's a street fighter. And he's paid the price dearly for it with the amount of head blows he's taken in this fight. And he's trying to suck that oxygen in. He walks into a right uppercut, which snaps his head back by Canclaux. Remember, Canclaux, the champ, is in the white trunks. Jaume Pons from Barcelona in Spain in the red trunks. The legs are a little bit heavy now on Pons. He doesn't have the real good bounce in his knees. He's loose in the knees, very heavy in his feet, and heavy in the thighs right now, but there's no quit in his heart. He's got a huge heart, is this kid. Canclaux, if you've been with us from the outset, has hit him with everything, but he's been just refusing to get down. There's another crisp right hand blasting to the left side of his skull. Pons' hands have come down now, so he's going to get nailed more in the head. And no quit, he just keeps coming forward. Canclaux gets his distance, his punching room, then he resets and lets the guy come in on him. Now he's the one that's trying to get the angles. Pons continues to make the mistake of coming in. There's no zip in his punches left, really, for Pons. We're in the 11th round, and what has been a very hard, grueling fight for both guys. Oh, look at that! Pons nailed Canclaux! He caught him with the right hand and got Canclaux's attention. Nailed him with another straight right hand. Man, you just get the idea. Anything can happen in the last round and 42 seconds of this fight. The crowd here, of course, a French crowd, all in favor of Canclaux. They're whistling, they're hooting, they're hollering, they're saying, come on, Canclaux, finish this guy off. And this Pons gesturing, come on, let's keep going. Look at this guy, Pons. I mean, the guy in the red trunks is loaded with courage. Holds up another shot. And by the way, the legs of Canclaux a little bit loose in the knees too right now. A little bit heavy as the bell ends. So round 11 goes to the scorecard. So we get ready to go to the 12th and final round, and my golly, this is, for a lopsided fight, it might just be the best lopsided fight I've ever seen in terms of scoring.
N'accepte pas ces batailles, pas de provocation. Ne te
I got it scored 108-102, heading to the 12th in favor of Canclaux.
N'accepte pas la bataille.
Good-looking kid, isn't he? What a nice job they did in that cut in the right eyelid. As you take a look at this replay, you know, Pons had some good punches landed. Getting ready for the 12th. All right, here we go. This is the 12th and final round of this fight. And it has been some exciting fight in spite of the fact that Canclaux is probably way out in front on all the judges' scorecards. Pons is a courageous guy and made this a fight. Now, Canclaux, you get the idea, he's got a second win. As I say that, Pons blasts him with a left hook. Pons keeping the pressure on, hits him with an uppercut. Look at this! And now back comes Canclaux. It's been mostly Canclaux, but there have been times when it's seesaw back and forth like this. Both guys loading up shots here in the 12th. Canclaux getting the best of it. A championship fight, a world title fight between Bell and Mormac was a world beater their first time around. It's going to have to go some to be any better than this fight, I'll tell you. But we expect it to be every bit the fight that this one is. And Pons continues to try and throw shots. There have been no knockdowns in this fight. Pons has been shaken on 2 or 3 different occasions. And every time we thought it was curtains, he battled back. Look at these guys go! So Pons comes in, keeps the pressure on Canclaux. Canclaux pushes him off. Hits him with a left hook. And the kid just keeps coming forward. Canclaux now getting the bounce back in his legs as he goes up to his toes, but plants. And now he has to hang on for just a second. He's a little bit on the gas side, I think, because Pons is keeping the pressure on him. Can Pons pull a miracle in the last minute and 30 seconds? He blasts him to the body, back upstairs and head. The fresher of the two fighters right now looks like Pons, believe it or not. As I say that, he tries to beat him down, beat him into submission, and Pons keeps the pressure on him, loading up shots. Canclaux has the counter and hang on. How about this? The crowd's booing him. How can you boo this effort? The guy has got to be gassed to heaven. Oh, now he battles back. And that brings the crowd to life here in France. Nails him with shots. The head spins of Pons. The uppercut. Can he finish him off here in the last minute of this fight? Oh my goodness, what a seesaw battle here. They've been going like this for almost 12 full rounds. And the crowd now, in spite of the fact they go to a clinch, the crowd on its feet and giving him a standing ovation. They love this. I'm exhausted from watching this fight. Wow. What a battle. Well, that's what we've come used to when Don King promotes a fight. You get it. You get the idea. They know what they're doing at Don King Productions. Glad wherever you're watching around the world, you can enjoy this, the last 10 seconds. And this is only a warm-up fight for the main event. The European title at 154 pounds. The bell sounds to end the fight, and that was an absolute war. People are standing, everybody's clapping. A wonderful, wonderful effort. I've got it scored 118-112. I actually thought that Pons won the last round, although it was another close round. Well, we've got to get the decision now here. And remember, all the announcing here by the ring announcer, who is Alexander Dubois, is all in French, so we'll try to pick up as much as we can. I'm quite sure that Canclaux is going to get the decision. I've got it 118-112, but I'm quite sure the judges saw it the same way, because I described it as the best lopsided fight that I've seen, but I think this kid has clearly won the fight. But it was a battle right down the wire. Man, I thought at one stage there in the 12th round that Pons just might pull it out. Woo. Waiting for the official particulars and the official decision. All right, Don King, how about that fight for a warm-up fight, so to say?
Stayed in there. It was a fabulous effort by Pons. You know, he just really stayed right in there with Canclaux, and Canclaux has dominated the fight all the way throughout the fight. But it's just great. It demonstrates, you know, that, you know, when you're a fighter, if you're a warrior, you never give in. You're in it to win it. You can't give in, you can't give up, and you can't quit.
Here we go for the final decision here. I'm quite sure that Canclaux has won this, but man, what an effort by both fighters, because Canclaux was gassed on a couple of different occasions himself in this fight.
Yes, this is exciting. What a crowd.
Très beau combat, on peut à nouveau les applaudir s'il vous plaît. Merci à vous. Très intense, ils sont allés jusqu'au bout ce soir. Pour le juge, Mickey Van, 117-112 pour Canclaux.
Judge Mickey Van scored it for Canclaux.
Roger Tillman, 117-111 Canclaux.
And Bob Rogers gives it to Canclaux.
Pour le juge Jean-Giacomo Antonio, 117-111. Mesdames, Messieurs, vainqueur à l'unanimité des trois juges, champion de l'Union Européenne, le Français.
There it is.
And the French judge makes it unanimous as Christophe Canclaux wins a unanimous decision and retains the European Union Championship at 154 pounds.